we're going to walk him up to this person. We're going to have him sit. We're going to do this little greeting routine that we practice with him. There's a treat. Give you a treat there. He waits till I come back next to him. Always keep that leash loose. If he tries to go over before you send him, just tap it a little bit, but keep it loose. My right hand, I'm going to tap his chest and say, go say hi. He's going to go say hi, get petted. Come. I'm going to call him back to me. Good. Step into him. Sit. It's a great way to practice your sit-stay in a real-life situation. He doesn't jump on people anymore when he's excited because the treat's down on his level and the petting's on his level. Go. Come. Great way to practice. Good. Calling him to come away from somebody. Sit. See how he just knows the moves? Like he'll turn around and set himself in a sit next to me almost without me doing anything, just because the pattern has been practiced so many times. He knows exactly how this goes. Go. One last time. Come. Good. See how when I call him to come to me, the reward's in my right hand like that. The left hand is free because the loop is over my wrist there. I take it in my left hand and I can step into him and go wherever I want to go with him. See, like that. Sit. You're always turning into him with your body, because if you turn the other way, you're going to end up pulling him, dragging him. When there's a tight leash, the dog tends to pull away. So you're always going to be only tapping, okay, and stepping into him. If I want to go right, I'm going to tap and go right to go left, and it draws him right back next to me. Sit. If I want to do, okay, sit. I want to do a sit stay like that. I'm going to do a circle to reset him, have him sit at the end of that circle like I just did, but always using my body to walk into him, and it does all the work, and the leash stays loose when you do it that way. Okay. To play this little mat exercise game, and that's what he thinks it is. He doesn't even know he's getting trained. But the way we do this is we have this mat, and I walk him up to the mat, and I have him sit, because the goal is that he waits for your permission to go onto the mat, and you're never restraining him, so he really has to wait in a real sit-stay. And if he tries to go over before you send him over there, you say no, and just apply a little bit of tension to the leash, and he'll go back. See how I'm always tapping him? So he needs to wait for your permission. No. I'm going to pat his chest and say, go to your mat, and then walk him over and say down. So it's a great way to teach a dog a solid down stay. Good boy. Hey.
Wait on the other side?
Oh yeah, the office was supposed to call me when you were here. So let me finish this video, okay? All right. Okay, so that was good. You stayed down. We had a stranger stick his head in. Good. And this mat exercise is a fast track to teaching him a solid down stay, and just anywhere. So we always practice this from day one, and then you get to practice. You start out slow every time you do this, and you get to practice your good basic down stay where he accepts you walking around both ways, and then from there you can do all sorts of things. You can pull on the leash. Good. Good. Always make sure that when you reward him, you hold it like this in your hand. So I'm just holding a piece of this dog treat in my hand. Overhand, I set it on the mat. Withdraw, he takes it when I withdraw. He waits. You see, he waits until I withdraw. He takes it off the mat, and you say good every time. So it's going to be like this. Good. If he tries to touch your hand, or he tries to take it out of your hand, you pull back and say no, no. In the beginning, you might have to do it a couple of times because he's not used to doing this with you. But if you do what I do, you'll have this here. And if it's a bad day for him and he's having problems focusing, do not let him do it the wrong way. You have to really good. Wait. Pausing for a few seconds is extra good because it calms him down. If you're moving fast, you've thrown the food down, and if he could be in a downstay, but in a reactive state of mind because you're not moving slowly and calmly and you're nervous or whatever, he's going to soak that up. So he's going to only be as calm as the person that's doing this with him, really. So he's going to soak up your state of mind. So make sure when you're doing this that your actions, good. Your actions translate calmness to him, so you have to be calm in order to do that. And you can do all kinds of things when you're in a fenced yard, or if you're in the house. You can step away, go back. There's all kinds of things you can do.
No. See, pull back if he looks like he's going to touch your hand. Good.
There's all kinds of things you can do to test him. And let's see if I can make him make a mistake and show you really quickly how to reset him. Then we'll be done with this little exercise. So I'm going to walk over here. I'm going to go out this gate. Now, if you're ever going to do something that's difficult for him to handle, it's okay to remind him what to keep doing. As you can see, we don't say stay anymore. Stay is implied. So say one thing, just down, and that's it. But if we're going to do something difficult for him to handle, I can remind him occasionally down before I do it, just to let him know. Since I haven't practiced this with him before, just disappearing out on the street like this. And then I can't see anything because I don't know if he's gotten up or not. He did get up. So whatever you're doing, if he makes a mistake, you say no. And you stay calm. It's not about, being angry or correcting him. It's just about resetting him and showing him, oh, you're going to stay down when I'm doing this as well. At some point, you've tried enough things that trigger him to pop up because he wasn't used to that he, at one day, and he's almost there now, he generalizes and he gets it, oh, I don't care what happens, where he goes, what noises I hear. I know that I don't move from that place until he comes back to release me in that one specific way. So that's what we're working towards. And then you have a really calm dog down, and his issue was being calm. So I'm going to just start at this first gate here. So he's okay with that. I'm going to go back and reward him. I think it was the second gate that triggered him. Nope. Good. Down. So now I'm going to go through this gate and then go through the other gate. Open this. Was this the one? No, that was what triggered him. So I'm showing you how to work through an issue here. No. It's opening that big gate that triggers him to get up. So we're going to say no. We're going to go back. So we already said D-O-W-N the first time I sent him here, so I really want that first time that I say down to hold for 5 minutes if need be, because you never want to repeat a command. If he does it and stays there the first time you say it, you're going to have a really solid down stay. So don't repeat the command. So we're going to try to open this big gate again, see if he can handle it. So that's what would trigger him to get up. So now, after 3 mistakes or so, and I reset him several times, he stayed there successfully. I'm going to give him like a triple size reward because he was successful at it. Nope. Good. And we're going to try to get 2 successes in a row, and then you've solved an issue, and then you can move on to the next thing. Great. So that was our second success. And this is where we stop. If you're doing this every day, trying it, good, trying different things, really you don't have to do this more than 3 to 5 minutes. Just find something that he has a problem with and then practice it in that way, like break it up, and maybe if he has a problem with something, back it all up and just do it step by step by step by step, back to the main thing that made him keep popping up. And he will get it if you do it that way. A couple big rewards, and then, okay. sit. Always say, okay, go back next to him. Okay, walk him off the mat, have him sit, release him from a calm sit stay. Go, and we're done with that exercise. But that's the way to do it. That's the way to get past a problem and be able to move on to the next one. And okay, sit. Walked him closer to the threshold so you could see him because there's a shadow there. You have him sit and wait. You step out. He waits till I come back. Okay, I'm going to go in as well just to show you how we bring him in. Sit. It's just a great little exercise you can do. Just having him sit and wait for you to come back to get him, and then he walks through only with you, so he's not pulling you in and out of doorways. Okay, come on, buddy, this way. One more time, we'll come out. Close the door first. Sit. So we always have him sit before we open the door because a lot of dogs are prone to popping up when the door opens, so it's harder for them. Okay. Sit. It's harder for them to stay seated if we have them sit before we open the door. So we're always trying to do it the hardest way possible because, of course, then they just get better because of that. Okay. So now we're actually taking him out for a walk, and this is the way we do it every day. And this is actually the way he comes through this doorway like 4 or 5, 6 times a day. Same way every time. We start the walk on the inside, the leash on. He doesn't go through the front door unless he waits like that and he's calm. And then now we're going to go out through the front gates and then start the walk. We'll show you how we do it every day to keep him calm on the walk. Sit. Always going to have him sit at the gate as we come out on the street. This is a tough boundary for him because it's the one where we're coming out into the world here, and there's always stuff going on the street, and he's kind of excited. He wants to go on his walk, but he's got to sit and wait first. So I had him sit, stepped out, stepped back. Okay. And then out here, I have to close this gate myself, so I'm going to do a little left turn like that. You always turn into him. And if he wants to pull, see, he gets excited out here, just kind of gently tap and release. So instead of restraining him and holding on tight and going like this, which would make him pull more, see, the leash is loose. And if you tap and release like that, he won't pull. But if you do this and you're restraining him, you're letting him pull you through the gateways, the doorways and gateways, he's just going to pull everywhere. So it's just about how you change the way you handle the leash. This is a much easier way. You just have to get used to doing it. If he goes forward, you just kind of give it a tap, and it's a tap and release. And it just really is so much easier once you learn how to do that. And you have to kind of forget what you've done since you were a kid. We've always all done the same thing where we choke up and we make sure pull the dog away from things, or, do that kind of stuff. But it just actually makes them more stressed, more excited. And you don't want them to start the walk that way. So you always handle the leash the new way so you have a much more relaxed dog and way less pulling. So the last thing I'm going to do, we came through the front door, we came through the front gate. Now we're going to do this curb right here. And also, if you want the dog to slow down, you need to slow down as well. So I'm walking slowly because I want him to learn to walk slow. Sit. Of course, when he came here, all he did was pull and rush everywhere. So it's just me walking slowly that has slowed him down. If you don't slow down, the dog will never slow down. And then at the curb, I always have him wait and do a sit stay like this. And then we're going to cross the street. Okay. And cross the street in training mode as well, and not allowing him to pull me. See how the leash is loose? If he speeds up, I'm just going to tap him a little. There's a cat right there. Can you see it? Come on. He likes to chase cats. But see, all I'm doing is still tapping it. It's not crazy. But he is really interested. Let me turn him towards the camera here. Sit. Cat ran in under a car right there. He's interested, but he is still staying in a sit stay. And then we're going to start our walk. I'm going to lure him to look at me with a treat. Good. The leash is loose the whole time, so that intensity with cats out on the street is, at least it's manageable now. If you tell him to sit, he may look, but you can always lure him back to you. Hey, like this, right here. Lure him back to pay attention to you. Good. Reward him for that. Keep him on that loose leash, and then release him calmly. Go. And so this is good because we saw the cat is his big distraction on the street, and we have some feral cats around here. So one just happened to pop out, perfectly timed for us to show you how now it's manageable. Now he's not like pulling and barking and going nuts like he did in the beginning. And you just keep on, come. I'm calling him away from whatever he was sniffing on the ground there because it might be gross. So that's another thing, but you always are going to call him away from things. You're not going to correct him, pull him away. Just use the training to get him away from it. And you see how he forgets immediately when you do that? But we were out here to start the walk, and you saw how we started on the inside of the front door, did the gate, did the curb, crossed the street, released him out here. If I wasn't talking to you this whole time, it would have taken me like a minute and a half, and then you do that every day, and the walk starts this way instead of the way it used to be where he was just pulling you all over the place. Okay, let's go this way. Come on, bud. Sit. You had no idea. You're like, I just want to pet the dog. Yeah. Now you're like, now it's this big thing.
No.
You're not a vegan, are you?
No.
Good. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Go say hi. It's a new person at the Christmas tree lot, and he's really shy, by the way. So just to approach somebody and take, he's like, maybe not, come.
Okay.
But you know, this is the way he's going to be in a new place. This Christmas tree lot just opened up. He's never been here before. These are all new people. Sit. And in this situation, we just have these kind of like boring dog treats that we're using. But in this situation, you could use a piece of chicken breast or something and he'd be more readily go.
Sorry.
Over there to say hi. Let's see if he'll take it. And this doesn't help, of course, keep filming. But I just want to show you, and of course they're going to stop right there, of course, because we just wanted to show you what he's like out in a public place where there's so much going on. And as you know, he was a very kind of skittish, nervous dog, and he's still got a ways to go. But you see how quickly he warms up to a new person, just completely new person who just approached us. And she's very smart, so she's not trying to pet him yet. So in the beginning, like somebody doing this might spook him, but you could probably do it now with the other hand if you want, or that hand, that's great. So she's doing it the perfect way. She's coming like from the side like that instead of overhand, which is the perfect way. And you know, like in 10 minutes, she would be his best friend. But this is great because of all of this. This kind of stuff would really freak him out before and freak out a lot of dogs. But you see, you never want to have a tight leash because that'll stress him out, stress any dog out. You keep it loose. I could always say, come, and call him back to me and get him into a sit just to make him feel safe, like somebody was still in charge, and that would help a lot. I would call him away from whatever that was, somewhere over where it was quieter, and restabilize him by doing a little training. But I just wanted to show you, go say hi to your friend, how he is in a kind of a stressful environment now, and you know, he's doing much better, and it's manageable now. That's great, thanks. He's a good boy. Sit. You never repeat the command. Stay is built into sit. So when you say sit, it means to stay, so you don't have to say stay. Just a basic sit stay. Now the only way to reward him when he's in a sit is this way. Always reward him when you go back, stand next to him. Get eye contact, straight down, good. Reward that way, not like this, where he's not looking at you. Just make sure that, nope, if he pops up before you release him, say no, put him back. He's nervous, I think, because of the camera person there pointing this at us. Good. Make sure he waits to be released. Keep that leash loose. If he gets up before you release him, you can just tap him like that and he'll go back. But he's waiting for you with your right hand to pat his chest and say, go. And he's free. When I am practicing the come command with Marlon, I always do it the same way every time, so that, and if you do it this way, it will become just like second nature. You won't have to think about it. If you do it the same way every time, that is, holding the leash the same way, the reward, everything, then it just becomes easy because it's just natural. So what I suggest, I'm letting him drink a little water here. Left hand leash, put the loop around your left wrist so your left hand is free. Right hand reward. And you call him to this closed target, because in an emergency, you're not going to have a leash, you're not going to have a reward, and you're just going to have the come command. And if you practice this way, with the leash, with the reward, you'll have it off leash. And when you call him to this, he doesn't know it's empty in an emergency, runs out in the street or something like that. You're going to have to just make it happen with what you have. And I'm going to call him away from this water. Come! See how when I back away, I'm going to stay in the camera's view here. See when I back away? Good. He comes to me, my left hand's free, I grab the leash. Comes to the right hand, his nose touches the hand, it opens, he gets the treat, and I grab the leash with my left hand. And then you can step into him, sit, do something like that, and he's on the clock. Or you don't have to do that, but you could do that, or at least you have him. You always want to make sure that when he comes to you, go, that he knows that you're going to have control of him. So he's got a leash, take the leash. If he doesn't, hook your hand. Your left hand hooks underneath that collar. You never want the dog to get used to coming to you, grabbing the treat, and then running off. So the pattern with him is that I know that I'm coming to that person, come like that, and he's used to this, so that he's not just coming over to grab the treat and run away. A lot of dogs do that, and so you want to make sure that you always have him secure when you call him to you, and that's just the way it goes every time. So you saw me back away. When you back away, as you say the come command, it draws the dog to you. It makes him rush to you. And you practice that over and over again, and that's all he knows. He hears come, he's going to rush to you. Later on, because of the way you practiced, your back could be to a wall. You can't back away, but he'll still rush to you because of how you taught him. So there's always calling him away from something as well, like never calling him to you when he's staring at you, because that's not a real life situation, but always when he is paying attention to something else, like now, come, good, just like that. So when you practice, always practice as if it was a real situation. You're going to want him to come to you most of the time when he's moving away from you, when he's going to do something inappropriate. He's not going to be paying attention to you, and you want him used to hearing that command and breaking away from whatever he's in the middle of to come to you. So always back away when you call him to you. Always use a leash when you're practicing, because you can always reinforce that first command with a leash. Never practice off leash. If there's an emergency, you're going to have to do it off leash, of course, but if you practice this way on leash, you're way more likely to have it work for you off leash, because you practice the right way. Never repeat the command, and if he doesn't react right away when you say come, it's just a tap like that. And he'll turn around. It's kind of like a tap on the shoulder. Hello, I just called you. He turns around, he sees you backing away like that, and he's going to come your way. Good boy. So those are the rules. Back away, use the right hand target, never repeat the command, always call him when he's looking away from you. All those things, that's all the stuff you want to keep in mind when you practice the come command, and it just keeps getting better over time. Okay.